Hello, you guys. It's been a while since I was online. I was studying, I was dedicating a lot of time to researches, and I came up with this news for you with this video because I think it might be accurate and it might be useful for some people. Because today there is my 1 year no alcohol challenge. Today is the day, yeah, and I did a lot of research before understanding why people even need to drink. It's a cultural, it's a society. It's not a health video where I'm going to try to talk you out of drinking, so don't worry about it. It's not going to be a nutritional point of view video where I'm going to just try to, you know, lecture you. No, it's not about that. This video is made with a energetic purpose. We're going to discuss today what happens to the body and to the people energetically when they drink and when they don't drink. So maybe 1 year, it's not that long of a time. I know amazing people who live without a drop of alcohol for years, 10 years and more. And that really says something. That says something about the character of those people. Those people are very disciplined. And that's what the challenge it's all about. Any challenge you take, you train your body like a warrior. An impeccable warrior is the one who holds their word, which means when the warrior is give you his word and he sticks to it, he does exactly as he says. That shows the character. This quality is highly valuable because not a lot of people are capable to deliver their promises. They promise a lot and they don't deliver because they do not have the inner strength. So from the researches that you can do yourself, everybody knows drinking is not good for you, smoking is not good for you. Like I said, it's not going to be the lecture, it's just going to be experience shared with you. People live in a constant stress, so there's this illusion of relaxation. And back to days when I was casually drinking, I used to love my glass of wine with the dinner. And when there's one glass, there is another glass. And when there's another glass, there is another glass. You know how it goes. And then there is a whole bottle, and you just feel like it's normal. Oh, it's okay. I just enjoy myself. The weekend is going. But it's not really a relaxation. It's an illusion. What happens to us? We guard our emotions carefully. We do not open up to people, right? So alcohol is a really easy way to open up to people because your usual guarding is omitted and your emotions are more like bare and you can express them freely. And alcohol does that soothing effect at first, right? It does relaxes the nervous system. So the guards are off and the person feels that whoever is drinking it feels more social. Actually, yeah, I experienced that as well. When I would come to the, let's say, baby shower or some kind of event, yeah, I'm invited by my girlfriends and I don't know anybody besides the parents of the future baby and maybe their parents, right? And they're all the other guests, I don't know them. And I was like feeling so awkward. I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't know anybody. I can't talk to people. As soon as I drank that margarita or whatever it was, there you go. I already knew the half of the people who were there. It loosens up your tongue. It allows you to feel free. It allows you to feel more social. It allows you to calibrate with people on the same frequencies. And it's all about frequencies. I was curious. English language is amazing. And it's not my first language. Those who know me, English is my third language, but I love it as it was my first because I completely fascinated how much more there is to learn, even though after living in a English speaking country, which is currently US for many, many years, there's always something new to learn. So I was curious, why stores, there are liquor stores where you buy liquor, why all the stores have this word spirits next to them? And I was very curious. I was like, why spirits? Well, spirits is something, it's like, it's something out of body, right? It's like an entity or essence. But why all the liquor stores call alcohol places spirits? And then I realized that people who drink on a regular basis, some people drink every day and it's normal. It's their normal. It's their reality. Some people drink like once a week. Some people drink once a month. It doesn't matter the frequency of it, how often person is drinking. But what happens is, especially people who drink on a daily basis, often, very often, they become like a property for rent. It's a rental property where anybody can vacate it. Any spirit can possess it, any spirit can come in it, use it, and use the person as a vessel, you know, as like a place where that spirit can hang out and do a lot of other things through that person. That's the danger of it. That's the danger of the people who are consuming alcohol, like I said, frequently. Those who don't do it frequently, those who do it like, once a year on the birthday party, this and that, like celebrating, it's a different story. It's completely different for those people. And we all are different here. We're not the same as far as the health wise, as far as the our blood, the vitamin levels in our blood are different, right? The body structure, somebody's bigger, thicker. That person needs more liquor to feel something, and somebody's very small, right? One shot is enough to feel that dizziness, that high that people love to achieve once they drink in the first place. There are people, let's say after a really hard day of work, physical labor. Um, let's say the person lives in a village. He's a villager. He's doing a lot of manual labor. That person will take that drink in the evening with his dinner. It's just gonna go right through him like in a blink of an eye. It's not really gonna affect that person as much as it would affect somebody else who has another health structure, another bodily structure, and another um, areas of work. For example, if the person is highly sensitive individual who senses, who's empath, right, who's sensing energies around them, for that person, that one drink is going to make a big deal of a difference. Even hangover alone, things like hangover, the way you feel the next day after the consumption of an amount of liquor, it can be big amount or it can be small amount. The bigger is the amount they consumed the day before, the stronger is going to be the effect. And everybody knows that feeling, how devastating it can be, how depressing it can be, how you, instead of feeling 100%, you feeling less, 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 not yourself. And as you get older, biologically, a lot of health processes are stopping in the body after a certain age, after the age of 25. The natural collagen that our body produces itself stops to be produced as much as before. So there is some certain processes that need a boost in form of at least not consuming toxic substances, at least to say the least, I mean, or preferably improving the diet, improving the food choices, beverage choices, and drinking choices as well. So people know that next morning you feel you could have moved the mountains. You had all these ideas. You wanted to be productive. You had all this awesome, cool stuff you wanted to accomplish, meet the friends, spend time with family. But the next day you feel like half a person. You feel like, wow, like you've been a ball and somebody played soccer with you. That's how it feels for a lot of people. And I don't blame them, because what happens, like I said, we're not going to go into biology in here. You can do research for yourself. We have a limited time for the videos. I don't want to make it too long, but cells are dying. Brain cells are dying all the time, every day, from stress, from free radicals that our body produces. Over age, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And what happens when we consume liquor that has ethanol, that has alcohol in it? We damage our brain cells. Whoever remembers chemistry lessons in school, maybe you ever had it, maybe you don't. We in Eastern Europe, where I grew up, and I'm from Moldova. Moldova is an agricultural state, agricultural country. We have really amazing foods. We have amazing organic products in there, fruits, everything. Wine, great wine. Moldova is very known for its amazing fine wines, just like a lot of other countries in Europe, where grapes grow in abundance. So it's a cultural thing also. Drinking a glass, even pregnant women are allowed to drink. like a little bit of red wine, it's good for cells. Why? Because red wine, not white wine, as far as I'm concerned, as far as my research is correct, red wine does contain resveratrol, and it's an antioxidant and a lot of other healthy elements for the body if consumed in the right amount. Again, it doesn't mean to drink a whole bottle, right? Drink a little bit for the blood. However, there are different ways to boost your blood, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But first, back to the chemistry lessons. If you ever remember having ethanol, right, having pure alcohol, and having, let's say, for us, for experience, we had a chicken liver. We just got a chicken liver from the store, and our teacher brought us the chicken liver, and she poured a shot of ethanol on it. And what happened on an instant? The whole place was so disgusting with the smell. The smell was just enveloping the air. In English, I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. In Russian, it's called denaturaция белка, denaturation of the protein, or maybe there's another better word for it. Please write in the comment if you know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there is a breakage of the protein, and our bodies consist of protein. So when protein starts breaking apart, there is this really nasty smell. The body starts undergoing certain changes, such as the one I mentioned above. Same happens with our brain. Brain cells are damaged. The memory gets much worse than it was before. The performance of a person, that's why athletes, for example, sportsmen, they're not allowed to drink. It's just impossible, because they're not going to be able to perform nearly as good as they would if they did not consume alcohol. Would you want to fly on the plane where the pilot had a drink the other night? I don't think so. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that great movie, Flight, and how tragic it can happen. Would you like to go to a doctor or take your child to a doctor who had some drinks on the weekend? I don't think so. Although there is no judgment to anybody. People can do whatever they want. It's their body. It's just a matter of fact. It's a statement that's 100% accurate for nowadays. Where all this abundance of increasing bad habits coming from? It comes from the system we live in. The system is not interested for people to be healthy, to be productive, to be happy, to be spiritually enlightened as a consequence of all of the above areas of life, right? System wants people to suffer, because suffering produces tremendous amount of low vibrational energy that's consumed on the daily by the system. If there are sick people, there are going to be remedies for them in form of different drugs to be taken. Speaking of drugs, it's a whole another topic for another video. I'm not too much familiar with it because I did not have experience with drugs myself, but I know a lot of people who did. And what happens with the body, as far as the spirit possessing the body, it's even worse. It's 100 times worse than just with people who are only on alcohol, and let's say cigarettes, which is a very, very strong hook. I've been hooked on it for many, many, many years, and it was extremely hard to quit. But it wasn't hard when I made a conscious decision, and I did it on the right date, which is also a day of eclipses. Day of eclipses, when you plan to quit something for really good, do it on the days of eclipses, because eclipses have a tendency, those who observe it, people who make statistics, they understood that when something happens during the eclipse, it has a long-term effect. It's prolonging the timeline. So it's basically if you start a relationship, likely that person is going to be in your life for a very long time. Same with breaking up. If you break up during an eclipse, forget about it. Most likely it's going to be for a very, very long time, forever. So when you quit a bad habit, get rid of something that no longer serves your purpose, and you do it on the right date, it only helps you to accomplish it with ease. A lot of us have addicting personalities. And that's okay. People want to be cling to something that makes them happy, and people have the addicting personalities in general. Like guys like to play video games, for example. It's kind of like declaring their brain. They can kind of forget about their problems and stresses at work, and they just go into the game and play like they're in a completely different reality. And that's also an addiction. Girls have a lot of other addictions to shopping. Not only girls, guys as well. Some girls play video games as well. People are addicted to something. They try to produce that happiness frequency and they try to grasp it from the outside world, where in reality it's always there's always a flaw in this plan. Once you try to produce that energy of happiness and happy hormones from the outside, you're relying on something else outside of yourself, outside of your strong uh, spirit. That About the strength, we can talk in another video, how to strengthen your spirit, how to not give in into the temptations of the modern world. There's so many, there's like everywhere. Growing up in Eastern Europe, going to school there, I remember all these places with the cigarette, how do you call it, lockets, or like there's like a little like a basically like a small shop, and it has cigarettes, it has gum, it has some other stuff like newspapers. They're like all over the place, right by the school. Go buy, nobody cares, nobody checks your ID. Back in the days, it was available, it was like all over the place. And kids growing up also, there is this thing about the forbidden fruit. Something that's forbidden increases the interest towards the subject even more. So when something is so much prohibited, naturally human beings, kids especially, they develop the interest to that subject, they want to try it all. So for the parents, it's just a remark that if you really want to protect your child from the, from the toxicity of the world, you don't have to put too much attention to it. No, don't do it, never do it. It's really bad for you, because you're only going to increase the interest. You have to explain on a particular examples why people shouldn't do it. Because children understand, not when you tell them no, when you explain why not, and you give them really, really good, solid reasons backed up. And what else happens? Back to the spirits. That's very curious observation. When you are not drinking, like at all, and you are amongst the people who drink, it's a very interesting movie, at least to say. You can start literally seeing how different entities start coming out of the people's body. Basically, people are no longer, they're no longer belong to themselves. It seems like their body is just a vessel, and there's something else that coming out of them, and that something else can be all types of stuff. It can be all types of negative. And people who drink on the daily and very, very frequently, they can be a good person, as far as, maybe they can have some good qualities of character. We all have something good about us, we all have something shadow about us. But the question, would you trust the person who consumes the toxic substance on the daily basis? Like, would you believe that person? Because that person is no longer autonomous in the thinking. Like I said, somebody else can vacate that body and perform different things from that body. We all have a guess what type of things people do uh, when they're not themselves. And they can suffer from it. They can suffer from it for a very, very long time, for many, many years. And a lot of recovery has to be taken uh, into the account, because people who are not thinking clearly, people who are not guarding their boundaries, they become like an open nerve, like that wire. And the wire, when it connects with the water, there is an explosion. And those are hot waters. The alcohol drinks, they're hot waters. Damaging of the cells is one thing. Having appearance that it's not the way you want to look, that's another thing. That should be a good stimul for at least girls to think about it, right? Especially after a certain age. But also, there's no such thing as regretting about something, because when you regret about something, you basically just shut off, completely cross off your life experiences. But life experiences, this is what makes you who you are today. This is what makes you you. All experiences are valuable, and some of them can be much more horrible than the others. But there's always hope. There's always hope for people. who want to better all areas of their life. And first starts with quitting what no longer serves you. When you challenge yourself, you told yourself, I'm going to do this for, let's say, 1 year. Okay, you do it. Or I'm going to go to the gym for an amount of times a week or a month or whatever you decide with yourself. Or I'm going to live without, for example, without intimate relationships. That's also a really, really great booster of strength, because not a lot of people tried it. Not a lot of people know how it is to tame your own flesh. And when you tame your own flesh, your animalistic desires, you become unstoppable. You become that fast racing sport car that everybody admires, that just moves forward in life very quickly. And what happens? This is called austerity. Austerity is an ascetic act you perform on yourself when you deprive yourself from what's normal in society, drugs, alcohol, whatever, sex. You deprive yourself from it consciously, not because it's in fashion or it's cool or it's good for the health, just because you want to train your spirit. Just because you can. And when you do it, you feel really, really empowered. You feel amazing. You feel like you want to share with other people that if they think that they have problems and they live in their little world full of, I don't know, drama or whatever the case is, they can overcome it. But they need to absolutely start with themselves. There's a great warrior school. Train your own spirit, tame your own flesh. And once you're capable of that, there is nothing you can do. You can do a lot of stuff. You can do a lot of healthy stuff for the humanity. You can start helping people around you. You can start helping yourself, which is most important, because first you help yourself before you can really help anybody. So it's up to you to drink or not to drink. For me, 365 days with not a single drop of alcohol went really well. And I want to say for myself, I'm not planning to go back. Hopefully this was interesting, informative, instructive. Please subscribe to my channel and visit all my portals down below and ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer most interesting ones and make another video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time.